The Weeping Woman. Legend has it that a woman lived in a distant place with her three children. This family was doing well, everyone was happy, and love was always present. The woman was a hard worker that always after her kids, always providing them with the most necessary things like food, shelter, and love. One day on a winter night, a great rain broke out and something terrible happened. That night, the father of the family returned after many years of having abandoned it. Previous to his arrival, the family had lived very happy without his presence for many years. Not having missed him at all, this man have had drinking problems, becoming an alcoholic, and under the influence of the alcohol, had many times verbally and physically abused the wife and children severely before his disappearance. The woman always prayed that this man would never return, always praying to God that this man would never remember that he ever had a family or that her kids would ever ask if dad was ever to come back. But sadly, what she feared that one day might happen happened. He came back. When this abusive and mental man arrived, he kicked the door open, pushed the things aside, parting his way through the house and screaming to the top of his lungs, angry, waiting for someone to answer him. Why weren't they excited to see him or expecting him to come back one day? The children, very scared, petrified, their whole world had come to a sudden stop. They had seen the devil personifying the man they once knew as their father. They ran to hide. The mother took courage and stood between the abusive man she had hoped never to see again, to defend them from any harm that might come their way in the shape of a fist or kick. She confronted her husband, but immediately the woman was beaten with fury, savagely, until she passed out for quite a long time. When she came back from being unconscious, she looked all over the house for her children, but she didn't find them, nor was she able to spot her husband with her blurred vision. She had hoped that any shadow would hint her that they were still there, but nothing. She was only there, alone in pain, hardly able to get up. She finally managed to grab onto a chair and stood on her feet. She decided to continue her search, scared, frightened that something bad could have happened while she was unconscious. She ran out of the house under the storm, crying and screaming their names for several days. Those days turned into months and those months into years, but she never found them. Time went by, but one day, after so much unfruitful searching, the mother finally died out of sadness. The children were never heard of ever again, and no one ever saw them either. Their bodies were not found, just in case when they had been killed. They vanished, leaving no trace or hints that could lead them to their whereabouts. The evil father had taken them away from the happy place they ever knew. Since then, it is said that the spirit of the mother does not rest, and every night she is heard crying out for her children, grieving them with great sadness throughout the villages. When women hear the wailing and screaming, they run scared after their children to hide them from her, since it is said that if she finds them, she might mistake them for her children, taking them away forever, just as it was done to her when she lived in a distant place.